You wouldn't know it, but next to this cafe are the doors to one of Australia's up-and-coming boxing gyms. From boxing in the dog park to building a fully fledged boxing gym. And we're going to meet with the owners and we'll see the 3 key things, how they did it in just a few short years. Before we unpack all of this, how did you two also get here?
I was a lead labourer. Horace, he just started his job over at Virgin Active.
Yeah, bro.
As soon as COVID hit and the lockdowns hit, we weren't here long enough to get any sort of government funding or company funding at the time. Well, on Horace's way out of Virgin Active, he grabbed those special pads. Guy and I were sitting in the living room one time and we were like, man, how do we make money, man? Let's just go down to the dog park, take a pair of pads down, no plan. You and me have a hit, try to sell ourselves. Since nothing was happening, we go, man, let's just create an Instagram. That first month and a bit, we were offering free sessions non-stop.
So when did it turn enough money in the dog park to sort of satisfy your family needs?
I think it was almost 3 months after we started.
Yeah.
And what happened was there was an accumulation of a couple of things. A lot of our free sessions, there was a lot of word of mouth that was going around that there's these 2 brothers that are holding pads for everyone in the dog park. And then on top of that, our social media started getting a bit of momentum. Because at the time, we created these beautiful flows, these beautiful pad work, and we'll put it up online. And that's what started us initially.
Right, so how did that come about?
What boxers or boxing coaches don't realize sometimes, like, boxing is not for everyone, people want to have a bit of fun. So we went down that lane.
Our huge rise and the way we came out of the dog park was we always wanted people to leave. It was like, man, this guy over-delivered the hell out of their session. Be like 9 sessions in one day, and last session needs to look like the first session.
You're charging $20, we give service like 120.
How did you figure out the charge at that stage?
We were charging $20 at the start. It was like we're just happy that money were coming in. We started filling up our calendar. But then what we realized was, man, we needed to charge more.
So you needed to charge more because you didn't have so many spots in your calendar.
We hit our capacity.
You had lines.
Yeah,
we did 50 to 60 sessions a week.
But we were stuck in that mindset, like we didn't want to raise our prices because we were scared to lose our clients. And what we saw was the other way around. We raised our prices. A lot of our loyal clients, they came with us. We started attracting a different, I'll say, level of clientele that came in every time we raised our prices.
So when you say a different level, what was different about them?
We had a lot of no-shows and we were charging like 30, 40 bucks. But what we realized as we raised our prices, you started getting
People committed?
Yeah. 100%. And then as we raised, like our capacity was still there. We got to a point, a year and a half in, we started having a wait list. And then on top of that, our following online, like we went from 10,000 to like 40,000 followers.
How did that happen?
Was that we showed up every day. We recorded the same stuff that we recorded on day one, but it just happened that we were so consistent with it. People keep seeing that. That's when we knew we had something good. We had a good following online, but on top of that, whatever we did with our prices, people were more than willing to pay. Yeah, our next problem was majority of them from America.
Were they all one-on-ones at this stage?
They're all one-on-ones.
Yeah, so heavy time dependent, schedule dependent. When did it get to the stage where you thought to yourself, well, gee, we got to get away from this dog poo and into a nice facility?
We paid rent at a gym because our members needed somewhere because it was raining. At the same time, we used that facility to do a pad holding course. Gideon posted it up.
We'll wake up and we look and we're like, people from America buying a lot of our stuff.
Wow.
We're living from paycheck to paycheck. We're getting money in, send it back home, and have money for ourselves.
Yeah.
But when we had another income,
you were thinking, oh, hold on, that's going to protect us a little bit, give us a bit of a buffer.
Yeah. And then one of our members was like, why don't you guys invest in your own place? We're like, how the hell do we do that? We don't know nothing about business. Our original plan was to open a gym. We did not know how to get that. Then we had someone who really believed in us.
Yeah, he was a huge catalyst for opening our own gym because he's the one that helped us on the finance side. He taught us business. He taught us how to open a gym, where to get money from to open a gym, how to get in good tent. He's like, man, we just need to find a space that we can bring our vision into. So Horace drew it up, and he drew it up in the dog park before we even had an idea of having a gym. We wanted to create something like this. And the whole idea behind it was you get your own bag, you get your own space, but you're close enough to where if you feed off each other's energy.
So the PadFlow Usos really did well in the park. Their offering was so successful. They wanted to open a fully fledged gym. And there was things they could leverage from the park experience, but there were a couple of issues that were different.
Opening a gym is a different beast. It's like now, it's like, how do we bring in members? How do we market this to other people? We're not selling a one-on-one anymore, we're selling classes. And then when people came in, We knew how to teach boxing, but now in a class environment, then on top of that, how do we sell them at the end?
So you had to learn it all over again.
Learn it all over again.
And actually be a
And
salesperson.
a lot of people that came in didn't know who we were.
First 2 years was very rough for us.
Yeah, our first 2 months, we had 12 members. We didn't have enough members to justify the overheads at all.
PadFlow lads spent 2 years with massive increased overheads and a trial period to try and find out what their business model was.
So how did you price as a result?
To start, we were charging classes. Like if you come in, you pay per class. But for us, that never worked.
We knew we had the service. We knew we had the craft to do it. We just needed to somehow justify that through the price. Because let's just be the most expensive, the most premium, and then deliver the most value.
We charge 100 a week. Guess what happens to me? I go study. I want to get better because I know that price is so high. So I'm here every day trying to justify that price, and I got better.
How many members have you got now? Just
We're pretty much at cap. So we cap it at 120
Max.
max, because we don't want to go over. We refuse to go over because we never want to lose the quality.
Yeah.
so you don't want to be a transaction, you want to be an
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Often people look at volume rather than price. Well, they look at volume to drive price rather than necessarily saying, well, what's the quality and the value, and therefore what's the price?
In business, knowing your target client base is absolutely critical. I was fascinated because you think as a boxing gym, it'd be very clear what the clients are.
I remember before we first started, Horace really wanted to target the Asian community as well as
Did you?
as the females.
Yeah. Because your uni students are all here. You got to work all you have, We weren't targeting boxers.
At all.
We don't want any amateurs. We didn't want any pros. For business-wise, we know that everyday people are the ones who's going to keep the lights on.
I'd say 30% of our clientele are Chinese, international students. 50, a lot of them are business owners, just split female, male.
I would have thought that the standard boxing gym would tend to be amateur boxers or people that just love it. Because diversity, I guess, in customer base and member base is a key element of business value, right? If you've got a very defined, concentrated group of clients, I mean, that could be good, but you're also potentially exposed, right? What drives me to come here to learn boxing?
I wouldn't like to say it, but it's like a cult-like environment, Yeah, I know, It's like these members, we're just members. These members, like, they'll give anything for us. And once they get here, they realize, man, this is a community. Everyone here is so friendly. And on top of that, these guys love their craft so much.
I think it always starts with us.
Hey,
Someone walks through the door,
Mauso.
big smile, no matter how tired he is, he's there, gives you the energy. And probably the biggest flex for us is when we have our members do the same.
There's one thing I could tell a business owner coming through, or don't focus on the community aspect of, let's go have a barbecue, let's go do that. Yeah, that's cool. But it always starts from how the owners treat their members or treat their people. And that rubs off a lot on the other people that come through.
What drives you to do this?
This is from day one, is our family. There's always been motivation for us to look after our parents back home. And now we've got our family of ourselves.
Why is that such a strong North Star?
We know our parents sacrificed their dreams so me and Horace can even be standing here. It was made concrete when I went home and interviewed our parents in a way where they just story told our upbringing and the challenges and adversity they went through. This is why we're so deep rooted in making sure everything works out. We bring that to our community. It's all about family.
There is a feel.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. And that all stems from why we started. And that was our parents. And that was finding a way to provide for them.
How did the two of you get on during that period?
I feel like I needed to be in everything.
It wasn't until Horace goes, don't worry about this. I got it. You go do that.
Probably put a bit of pressure on him to be accountable.
Man, that accountability and that trust, that forced me to actually mature and just, it was like, man, I can't let this thing down.
The trust element and figuring out what each party's really good at it and respecting the other and making them accountable for their strengths, it unlocks a whole lot of productivity and performance that you would otherwise never see. Next 2 years, you've started to grow.
Gideon figured out all his marketing. He was really good at closing people. The classes felt like we knew exactly what we needed to do. The classes, what worked and what didn't work.
I remember our initial idea was to run a lot of chains of gyms. This is a personality-based brand now. It's like people come in for Horace and I.
Yeah, they say it's also a bad thing.
Yeah.
Obviously now they rely on us all the time to be the face.
I value a lot of businesses, and owner risk is at the top of the list in terms of how it impacts the value of the business. And often It's two sides of the one coin. It dramatically impacts the value because of the strength of the owner. But in a transition, if you were to sell a business, sometimes it has huge downside. Has there been a time when you've looked at recruiting others to do what you do here from a training perspective?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
And how did that go? What did you find?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because remember, when you have members who just want us around all the time and they want you, they sign up because of you. You bring someone else, it obviously the classes, they want to wait till you have your class, and then the other classes kind of fall off a little bit.
So it was difficult to find people that could replicate.
Yeah, it was hard. It's still now to this point, it's very hard.
So is it in the too hard basket in your view?
I just think it's in our energy can be leveraged better elsewhere.
This is going to be our lifeline. We have it here. It's not going to go anywhere. But we start focusing on things like Spa Wars, online course.
Last week, second episode of Spa Wars, you had a whole bunch of people here. You had Australian boxing royalty and the Rose brothers here. How do you do that?
I think the biggest thing is we've never compromised our values and we've always been us, especially in the boxing world where it's so easy to change a few things just to try to get people through. The reason why the boxing world respect us is because they know that Horace knows boxing. We're being validated through the fact that Polo, he's an Olympian. He wanted to come fight for us. He's the reason why we have a fight team. We're not just no influencers trying to just put out pad work. They know we can do it all.
We got to that stage now that we really have confidence in our business side now. We're businessmen, and I feel like we're starting to understand that. We're not doubting ourselves.
So you're businessmen, not PTs in boxing?
Not PTs anymore. No, we own a business. So running an event on Friday, it's a business move for us.
I was intrigued by how these two brothers maturely thought about owner risk and are developing a broader business model that is less dependent on them.
People talk a lot about it in business. That trainer community, is this how you scale your business? Is it?
Yeah, it's
Genuinely
legit. Yeah.
That's always been our goal, was to try to give what we give people to as many people in the world as we can. And it's like the best way we can do that in our eyes is to teach people to teach people.
But I think it's interesting how you're saying, well, look, we're happy with what we've got here. We need to keep the quality strong. We need to find another way of leveraging our expertise, beyond this. If you set it up right, I think you probably worked this out, it's going to be a lower risk opportunity because it's not as if you're going to have to invest big capital dollars to, get that trainer world up and running.
Apart from all the elements of the PadFlow business model and the changes over time and their learnings around pricing, customer market, sales, quality of service, one thing that struck me is there's a stronger driving force in the way they do business.
Never lose sight of your North Star. For us, it's always been family. We know our parents sacrificed their dreams so me and Horace can even be standing here. When shit hits the fan, we'll figure it out because we have a strong why behind us that's pushing us towards where we want to be.
And that strength is now a major element as to what will drive this business forward to its next stage of development. If you'd like to learn more about how to grow a successful business, please drop us a comment and drop us some views about what else you'd like to hear on this channel. And also check out the videos coming up because they'll help you in building the value of your business.